Hi everyone, my name is Allison Gilbreath, and today I'm walking you through my website accessibility audit I conducted on nps.gov, which is the official site for the U.S. National Park Service. This audit was completed on July 29th, 2025. This audit follows the WCAG 2.1 AA guidelines and includes both automated and manual testing methods. The goal of accessibility is to make sure that all users, including people with disabilities, can effectively access and use the content on a website. To evaluate the site, I used the Wave Accessibility Evaluation tool, and I also performed manual testing using keyboard-only navigation, screen reader testing, and Zoom testing at 200%. I used 4 methods to test the accessibility of the site. First, I ran an automated testing using the Wave tool, which helped identify issues like missing alt text, low contrast, and other structural problems on the site. Second, I used keyboard navigation to check the tab order, visibility of focus states, and whether the site could be fully used without a mouse. Third, I used a screen reader. In this case, I used VoiceOver to test how well someone using assistive technology could understand and navigate the content. And finally, I zoomed the page up to 200% to see if the layout remained readable and intact, which is a critical check for those with low vision. I also wanted to include a quick screen recording of the homepage of nps.gov. For those who are using Vision to view this PowerPoint, I just wanted to show what the page looks like to get a better feel for it. It's got a full width image carousel, search and filter tools, and several linked images for different resources. Visually, I think it's well designed, but we'll dive deeper on some of the accessibility features that could be present beneath the surface. So the first issue I found was involving linked images. Wave flagged 10 images that included alternative text, which is good. However, not all of them clearly conveyed where the link would go. According to WCAG 2.1 AA, specifically success criterion 2.4.4 on link purpose, it says that alt text for linked images should describe the link's destination or function, not just what the image visually represents. So, for example, instead of person with backpack or hiker with backpack and water bottle, the alt text should be something like learn how to plan a summer hike in national parks. This would help screen reader users better understand the context and the purpose of each link. Another issue that was flagged by the Wave tool was missing or empty alt text on the .gov and HTTPS lock icons in the site's banner. But when I looked more closely, this turned out to be a false positive because these images are purely decorative and are immediately followed by text that already explains the message, like official websites use .gov and secure.gov websites use HTTPS. I included some screenshots of this, and according to WCAG 2.1, guideline 1.1.1 on non-text content, decorative images should be hidden from screen readers using either empty alt attributes or ARIA hidden set to true. That's exactly what the site's code does here, and I included a screenshot of that as well after inspecting further. So in this case, the implementation is correct, and the wave alert isn't actually a true error. And I had this for a couple other instances on the page as well, where the wave tool thought that it was an error when it really wasn't. I also thought I would add some wins of the website because I really felt like I was grasping for things to nitpick when you can tell that this website was really well thought out in terms of accessibility. So, one of the biggest wins I found on the nps.gov site was its strong use of ARIA attributes to support the screen readers. There are over 85 ARIA labels used throughout the homepage. This allows assistive tech to understand elements that might otherwise be inaccessible, like icon buttons or custom interface features. I even found that each social media icon, like their Facebook or Twitter, has a clear ARIA label and a role set to image, so screen readers can announce what it is and what it's for. Even better, the footer is structured using clear landmarks and list roles, which makes it easier for both the screen reader and keyboard users to navigate directly to the important links. Next, I wanted to include when I manually tested the homepage at 200% zoom, which is a common setting for users with low vision or who use magnification tools. The layout adapted beautifully. There was no horizontal scrolling necessary, and all of the content stayed visible and readable. So, this meets the WCAG 2.1 AA guidelines, specifically 1.4.10, which ensures reflow and zoom work well together. So I thought this was a really strong sign that the site was designed with flexible layouts and accessibility in mind. Lastly, I wanted to include some wins in the structure and navigation of the site. There are 3 working skip links that let users jump past repeated content. So, something that is really helpful for those using keyboard only navigation, which I found was quite seamless, especially on the homepage. The heading structure is logical, well organized, with 2 H1s, several H2s that help define the content areas. The page language is also set, which helps screen readers pronounce the content correctly. Most of the interactive elements are semantically marked up and easy to navigate via keyboard. So, overall, this shows a really strong commitment to accessibility fundamentals, and the entire site follows this. So, based on my audit findings, here are a few recommendations to help strengthen accessibility on the site moving forward. Once again, this was quite difficult for me because I found that this site was very accessible and I was really impressed. I couldn't even find a single instance where there was a contrast problem with text and background. But first, I think we should clarify the linked image alt text. Some alt text exists, which is great, but I think it should go describing just the image. Like I mentioned previously, it needs to describe the link's purpose or where it leads. I think they should continue to mark the decorative icons properly using the alt or aria hidden to keep the screen readers from reading non-informative visuals. This reduces the clutter for those users relying on assistive tech. I also recommend reducing the false positives. Not every wave alert is a true issue, as I found. For example, those contrast errors or missing alt attributes should be checked in context before making any changes. I'm sure that those who designed the site already knew about these and definitely ran it through a wave test before. And another point is to maintain the clear heading structure. I found the hierarchy was very easy to navigate and continue using ARIA best practices. So I thought the site does a great job with landmarks, labels, and continuing to update and apply these as the site evolves will ensure long-term success. To conclude, I think the nps.gov homepage is a very strong example of accessible design in action. It supports all the essential features such as keyboard navigation, screen reader compatibility, and content resizing at 200% zoom, making it more usable for people with diverse needs than many other websites that I have gone to in this class. I found that most of the Wave alerts were false positives, showing extreme attention to accessibility details. And with just a few small improvements like clarifying the alt text, this site, I think, could be considered a model for accessible government websites. Here are my references that I used to perform this audit. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a good rest of your day. Thank you.